Some of you may be wondering, man, why is it that someone who practices the left hand path does so much content in which he talks about Christ? No two people's journey are the same. We all have our own individual experiences. We all were raised and brought up differently, right? Even though there may be certain similarities, we're all unique. And so for me, I grew up, I was raised Catholic. I was baptized as a baby. I received my first communion, and I was confirmed as well. 3 of the 7 sacraments within Catholicism. A lot of my family members, right, my ancestors were also Catholics. Many had Catholicism forced upon them. So if I want to understand their pain, their experiences, some of their thinking, right, if I want to understand the Western civilization, right, and I need to understand Christianity, right, to a great deal, because a lot of our ideas, our concepts, our beliefs are Christian based. See, although I'm studying it, I'm not studying it to be a strict follower, right, because I'm not here to follow. I'm not here to replicate. That shit's already been done. I'm looking to take lessons, powerful lessons and teachings, right, from that path, from that tradition, and learn how to apply it to what is, uniquely my own, which is what I'm working on creating ultimately. I understand, everybody can't do this work, right? Certain people have experienced heavy religious trauma to where they can't even look at the symbols, any symbol associated with Christianity. And so for them, it's not for them, right? Perhaps not in this lifetime. But some of us are different, right? Some of us are here to do something different. So for me, right, understanding this path, right, the ins and outs, the esoteric component to it, things that are, asking questions, right, and finding these hidden discoveries, it's helped me to make sense of reality, right, a lot more. It has helped me a lot in my overall understanding of magic. There's one more thing that I wanted to mention in the prior 2 videos in regards to Christ's crucifixion. I don't think many people know this, right, but the Romans were very particular, right, in their affairs, and it's important to understand that they didn't crucify just any old person. When they crucified you, it meant something, right? And when they crucified you, what it meant was that you were an abomination, a foul one, a vile one, a lowly one, a wicked one. You were seen as a blight on the planet. For them to crucify you, it meant to them that you were scum of the earth. You see, this is one of the reasons why Muslims don't believe that Christ was the son of God, or as they call him, Allah. They argue that Allah would not allow that of one of his most powerful and favored messengers, and argue instead that Judas was made to look like Christ and was crucified instead. Now, another thing that a lot of people don't realize is that one of the reasons why Christ was constantly on the run, constantly on the move, right, from very early on when he was a child, right, there were people after him. King Herod was, trying to find out about Christ's whereabouts to, get him out of here. It was written in the stars of his coming, right? The Magi, right? The 3 kings, Magians, following the stars, right? And followed the star in the east and found Christ and gave him gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Gold could be symbolized as, like, wealth, right? Literal gold. Or we could see gold as the philosopher's stone. They also come bearing the gift of frankincense and myrrh, right? Pleasant fragrances, but we also know that frankincense and myrrh is also associated with protection. And so here we have a baby, a child, right, who has been willed into creation and is given the philosopher's stone and spiritual protection, right? It's pretty much the green light to do whatever it is that he deems fit within the creation. But see, there's an issue with this baby, according to Mosaic law. Mary and Joseph were married, but they hadn't consummated their marriage yet, which means finalized their marriage via, having sex. And then she winds up pregnant, magically, miraculously. So what does that tell you about Christ? Right. That's not Joseph's baby. Technically speaking, that makes him a child born outside of wedlock. That makes him a bastard. You see why he's living like a fugitive, traveling to and fro. Why his parents have to keep getting him out of here. Also consider this, right? There are different versions and variations of this story. In the Islamic version, right, where you could read in the story of the prophets, right, the story of Zechariah, you'll see that Mary, or Maryam, as her name is in Arabic, would often receive gifts, right, of baskets of fruit from the angels, right? It would just magically appear in her room, right? And she says the angels would drop it off for her. Now, she winds up, when she's given birth to Christ, right, in this variation of the story, she gives birth to him in the wilderness alone. And immediately when he's born, right, this baby is speaking. Now, a lot of people also don't know this. Joseph sought to divorce Mary, right, when he found out that she was pregnant, right, because he's like, yo, how the fuck you a virgin, right, and, you know, you're somehow pregnant, right? When angels came to him and said, listen, you don't got to worry about it. That baby in her womb is divine. But there are questions about what happens to Joseph, right? Because after a while, you don't really hear about him anymore, right? And so my theory is, I posit that I suspect he left. Because I think for him, it might have been a little bit intense, right, for him. This child is different, right? This isn't a regular, ordinary, average child, right? According to some accounts, this child was talking from the womb, right? Talked to Mary, and then when Mary came to the people, right, because she was hiding her pregnancy, right, according to the Islamic account, and when she appeared before the people, her people, you know, they all surrounded her, right, and they were getting ready to question her, right, because it's like, how the hell are you pregnant, right? You haven't consummated your marriage. Everybody knows your business, right? The world is small, right? Especially in this time, everybody's communicating, right? There's no fucking cell phones or technology, none of that shit to distract people, right? And they're community-based, right, people, and so everybody knows your fucking affairs. They know your business. And so they're coming around her, surrounding her. You know what they're going to do? They're going to stone her. They're like, Mary, where the fuck you get this baby from? How the fuck you pregnant, etc., right? Right, she puts her finger on her lips, points down to the baby, right? Young Isa, right, as his name is in Arabic, begins to speak to them, you know, I'm the prophet boy, right? I'm the messenger. I bring the book, the Injil, which is the gospel, etc., and so forth. So he's talking immediately from birth. And this child is different. Immediately from when he's born, right? He's self-aware, a miracle child, but also a freak of nature, a child born with a deformity. In Gnosticism, it is said that Sophia, right, the goddess of wisdom, right, was ignorant. And in her ignorance, right, she sought to know, right, the one true God, the monad. And in her ignorance, she conceived the demiurge. Holy shit, look who stopped by. Stopped by to visit us real quick. I have no idea whose rabbit this is, but he's been running back and forth. I want to keep this rabbit. Yeah, Sophia created the demiurge. Saw that he was deformed, right? And so cast him away. Lion-headed serpent, right? Cast him away. The demiurge created this world. And the demiurge is not only arrogant, but is also ignorant. Right? Because the demiurge foolishly believes that he is the only God. Christ empathizes with Mary Magdalene, right? Because she's an aspect, right, of his mother, right? This is what would have occurred to his mom, right? When all the people approached her when she was, you know, after she first conceived him, they were going to stone her to death, just like they were going to stone Mary Magdalene to death. Both times, right? Christ saves her. You know, both Marys, both aspects of Mary, the mother and the sacred harlot. We say that the demiurge, right, was deformed. What we mean is that this being is a freak of nature, one which apparently doesn't fit in, doesn't belong. And so it's easy for him to foolishly, right, arrogantly and ignorantly believe that he is the only God, especially when he's constantly on the run, constantly on the move. From very early on in his life, I like to think about this type of shit, you know, play devil's advocate, because if I don't share these thoughts, right, who will? So this is part of my unique journey. Also, with me, like, understanding my spiritual journey, right, and working with some of the spirits of my ancestral current, understanding Catholicism is important as well, because, of course, Vodun itself is a synchronistic practice, and Haitian Vodun, right, Vodun from Haiti, is synchronized with folk Catholicism, right, European or French folk Catholicism. And so, again, for me, like, just understanding Catholicism, Christianity, for me, is like important to for my spiritual journey, my development, right? And like I said, I'm left hand path all day with it. But yeah, I've rambled enough. Y'all be easy.